Jim Craig was one of the first pioneers to the Englishman River area, arriving by canoe in 1885 to the shores of a shallow bay near the Englishman River. After recording his land claim, he established a homestead on what has become known as Craig Bay. He married Gertrude Busby, and together they raised 4 children on their sheep farm overlooking the beautiful bay. In the 1930s, as more people traveled by car, Jim Craig and his sons built Craig's on the Sea Auto Camp to accommodate the growing number of tourists, and continued to run sheep during the off-season.
Now, but I do recall some of the families that had cabins down at Rathtrevor and at Craig's. Yeah, he had a dozen cabins down at, and they were all right down on the waterfront from the highway. It dropped down there into a big field, and then tourists, of course, they wanted to be right at the beach, and they had their little cabins all along there.
They had 2 different types of cabins. I camped out in them little cabins and had a ball. Yeah.
It was very popular. Most of their people would be coming from Victoria, Nanaimo, Vancouver, whatever. It would be the same people would come at the same time every year. We'd have wonderful bonfires and marshmallow roasts and corn roasts and things like that.
After Jim Craig's death in 1946, his sons continued to run the farm and cottages and added a campground. They continued to offer a rural seaside vacation experience until the property was sold in 1984. Further up the beach along Craig Bay, the Rath family once owned the land that is now part of Rathtrevor Beach Provincial Park. William Rath came to Canada from Ireland in 1858 in search of gold. After 29 years of adventure, William finally married, and in 1887 he staked 200 acres of land at the present Rathtrevor Beach site. William died in 1904, leaving his wife Elizabeth, the farm, and 5 children. Elizabeth proved to be an industrious person, successfully running the farm, and eventually, with the help of her son George, developed a campsite on the farm. George Rath and his partner, Edie Robinson, operated the campground until it was sold to the provincial government in 1967.
Old George Rath and his girlfriend Edie, they ran a campground down there too in the summertime, and it was basically find a place to camp, put your tent up, and there's an old outhouse out the back there, and that was about it. But yeah, he ran it as a farm. He had a few animals and that around there, but yeah, it was very popular. They actually leased some property to different people, and they built little cabins down there.
$1 a night, that's all they have. You'd be tent by tent by tent. I used to go down there all the time. There'd be 1,000 people down there, all the summer months.